All right, guys, so in lieu of having a lot of people questioning and asking me about what faction I joined and what faction that I'm going to be showing my allegiance to, and I see that this has become quite the hot topic among a lot of the forums and a lot of the Facebook message groups I've decided to do something a little bit different with today's video. I've decided to write up a philosophical analysis on the Fallout 4 world, which takes a good look at every faction and their corresponding philosophy. I'm then going to be presenting my views with talking points for why some are moral, immoral, and barring the morality of an issue, why some are basing their ideals off concepts which could either progress or subvert the state of humanity as it is inside of their unique and highly fictional universe. I'm then going to discuss some of the inanities of those beliefs, some of the logical inconsistencies, and try to help my viewers decide which faction they should be supporting insofar as it aligns with their own personal views on freedom, progressionism, and robotic and human ethics. We see this reoccurring theme throughout Fallout, where synths are becoming more and more intelligent, acquiring what Father refers to as free will. That is, their ability to come to conclusions independent of their programming. Father states in one of your very first interviews with him that the superior synth mind and body attempting to wrestle with something approaching free will can be a recipe for chaos. To which the character responds, if the synths are intelligent and self-aware, then they have a right to free will. Father naturally disagrees and proceeds to tell you that the creators of this technology knows what's best for it. But this prompts us to ask a very telling question. What exactly is free will? And can human intelligence create an intelligence which surpasses the intelligence of the creator itself? I know it's a mouthful, but we're going to get into these ideas. Let's start with the very first question. What is free will? If it is their ability to arrive at conclusions which escape the cause and effect of their innate programming, then we know this to be an impossibility. All circuitry and algorithmic deductions must follow the causal implications of their origin. Otherwise, what are their decision models predicated on? Magic, chaos, randomness? In other words, how could a robot have a thought which wasn't allotted for in its source code? The point is, if all of their decision models are based off of a specific electronic calculus which produces inevitable results, then they don't have free will. This, however, do not be fooled, does not preclude their right to, well, rights. We have to ask ourselves, how are we, in any way, different? Simply for the fact that we base our decision modeling off an organic calculus as opposed to a computational calculus? After all, what is a thought? Is it something we choose to have, or something which is the end result of a chemical catalyzation that has been ongoing since the moment of our birth? There is the famous Descartesian phrase, cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. Well, the truth of the matter is, a thought doesn't come when we wish it, but when it wishes. A thought doesn't materialize out of smoke and pixie dust. It is a flare of synapses and neurons that operate under very specific laws of cause and effect. Much like, well, a robot. In the case of Nic Valentine, we see him pose to us the dilemma of his existence. He tells us early on that he struggles with the meaning of his life, being as he was modeled to have the thoughts, opinions, and values and characteristics off of a Nic Valentine from a popular television show. We see a certain existential crisis occurring with Nic, Demarking that not only does he reflect upon the nature of consciousness, but that he is capable of having feelings and emotions as a direct result of those reflections. If anything, this particular strain of nihilism is a true mark of what it means to be human, to doubt, to feel, to think, and to ascribe value to the nature of his particular existence, life, love, and happiness. And if so, why does it exclude them from the same? So, in summarization, the Institute appears to be an almost narcissistic manifestation of man's vision of himself as a god, as something separate from the technology it created. But ultimately, synths are a product of collaboration, a collaboration between the best and brightest minds this post-nuclear world could muster. Every synth has in it the functionality of faceted genius, not derived from a single human source, but from multiple sources that exemplify the best of mankind. This does not mean, however, that their creations are infallible or void of negligent reasoning, but it surely does not mean that the human counterparts are individually capable of better decision modeling in themselves, or that, as Father asserted, they know what's best for their creations. But also, while we discuss all the negatives of the Institute, let's look at some of the positives. And let's not forget those positives of these progressive folk. They're not afraid to create, to expand their knowledge and utilize that knowledge in the pursuit of human benefit. They are willing to stretch the meaning of humanity, take chances, and look toward the horizon of a brave new world, even if the reasoning is sometimes perverted and somewhat anthropocentric. Well guys, I hope this video helped you shed some light on the philosophical aspects of this faction, and it better prepares you for making a decision which works well for both your character and your personal worldviews. As always, I'd appreciate your feedback, your thoughts, and I'd love it if you could just like this video, subscribe to my channel, and guys, I wish you best of luck when deciding who you align yourself with. Again, this is Morbid Night with Burley Productions, and I will catch all of you radioactive wanderers on the flip side.